The 50th CARIFTA Games set to shoot out of the blocks at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium in Nassau, Bahamas, and will be showing live on SportsMax this weekend. The Bahamians are banking on home advantage to help them excel at the three-day event starting Saturday following Friday's opening ceremony, which will also be live on SportsMax. Now, last year, the Bahamians finished second in the CARIFTA Games medal table in Kingston with 17 medals, 4 gold, 6 silver and 7 bronze to trail Jamaica, who gathered 45 gold, 29 silver and 18 bronze. The Bahamians were the last team to deny Jamaica being table toppers, achieving that in 1984, Pauline Davis and Company, when they collected 57 medals, 19 gold, to lead Jamaica, also with 19 gold, but fewer overall medals at 43. Now, we are about to talk to the Bahamians as they get ready for the CARIFTA Games coming up this weekend. Of course, remember, the opening ceremony is Friday and the three-day event Saturday, Sunday and Monday at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. And we are about to welcome Forrest Cooper, team manager of the Bahamas, to the show. We are going to talk to him shortly, Leighton, but the Bahamians have always been top performers at the CARIFTA Games. Only last year we saw Keyshawn Strawn, I think he was their team captain, with a javelin record, one of the key performers last year. But a huge squad, an 80-member team for the Bahamas at home, the biggest ever CARIFTA Games team they've ever fielded. And anxious to talk to them about how they're looking forward to the 50th Games.
Absolutely, Lance. So when you consider that last year would have been a disappointment for them, only 4 gold medals, 17 overall. When you consider how the Bahamas have performed at the CARIFTA Games over the years, this would have probably been a low point for them last year coming to Jamaica with the expectations that they would have probably won more medals.
Yes.
But so they're at home, so they don't have travel costs to deal with.
Yes.
80-member team would suggest that they're coming this year to do a lot more than they did last year.
Yeah.
Whether or not they'll be able to topple the Jamaicans for the first time since '84 is still to be seen.
Yes.
But it's going to be very interesting to see how they perform in front of their home crowd, and with the fact that they have this large team now assembled to compete.
Yeah, Forrest Cooper, manager of the Bahamas team. Welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, all right, let me start here because Leighton just mentioned or referenced your efforts last year in Kingston, 4 gold medals, which is below par for the Bahamas. Bahamas usually winning a lot more gold medals than that at the CARIFTA Games, but we know coming out of a COVID period, the past 2 or 3 years would have been difficult. Do you have any targets for your home performance here over the next days of the CARIFTA Games on Easter weekend?
Yeah, so to address, like you said earlier, last year was a very strenuous time for us coming out of COVID. We got a lot of lockdown, not able to practice and train. So this year we come in with a newer, younger team. We have high expectations, but we haven't targeted an individual number as far as medals. But we're expecting our kids to bring us a lot more than we had last year.
Yeah, I saw in the newspapers in the Bahamas, the Tribune and the Guardian, referencing a lot of practicing going on over the past couple of weeks, and you're awaiting some of your overseas-based athletes. Who are the overseas-based athletes that will be a part of your Bahamas team coming in?
Okay, some of our overseas athletes would be Zion Campbell, Lacasia Cooper, Chavanya Workout. We also have Mateo Smith, and we have some of our more senior members of the team. Last year we had a very young team. This year we have a lot of members that's returning from last year, but we're also going to bank on some of our colleagues to help us medal this year.
Where does the Bahamas have its strengths this year? Usually, in some years it was the sprints, in some years it was the 400s, and of course last year we saw Strong with the javelin doing exceptionally well. Tell me a little bit about how rounded is this Bahamian team as it prepares for competition this year?
So this year with the team that we have,
I think we've lost Forrest Cooper.
Yeah.
He was just about to tell you where the strengths are. But apart from Keyshawn Strawn, there was the Scott in the under-17s winning the javelin as well. So there are 2 javelin gold medals for the Bahamas. But you are right, Leighton. The Bahamas over the decades at CARIFTA Games have displayed varying areas of strength. We know that as a sprint performer. They've always produced outstanding sprinters, and they were strong in the 400s as well. And the relays, you can always count on the Bahamians to be strong. But in recent years, a couple of the field events results for them have been pretty productive.
Yeah, especially when you consider that Bahamas currently hold the two current world champions in the 400 meters.
That's right.
You kind of expected them last year to come a lot better, but they didn't really show up in that discipline last year at all, which was a bit of a surprise for me. Notwithstanding COVID and the inability to train, the fact is that traditionally, Bahamas usually brings a good 400-meter squad to the CARIFTA Games.
Yeah.
And so it was a little bit of a surprise last year that we didn't see that kind of performance from them.
Yeah, well, we have Fares back again. Fares Cooper, you were talking about the likely strengths of your team coming into the home effort here at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium.
Yeah, I heard you talking about the quarter milers just now. I think this year we would see maybe a return to a quarter milers. Also, that I feel like one of our strengths that might come out of is going to be in the jumps, particularly maybe some of our high jump on the 17 boys. We have a particularly strong team, and maybe in the long jump on the men's side. So we tried this year to bring a balanced team, hence the larger team. And we tried to bring balance in our strength to go across the spectrum. But if I had to say anywhere, we'd probably be stronger on the female 400-meter side and the jumps.
Okay. Yeah, the CARIFTA Games for the Bahamas, Fares, has always been a major event on your calendar. No matter where the CARIFTA Games are staged in the region, the Bahamian fans always turn out. Whether it is St. Kitts or Martinique or wherever, there's usually a huge contingent of Bahamians. Talk to us about ticket sales, the sort of excitement that is being generated in Nassau over this event this weekend, and the sort of expectation with the crowd support for the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium.
The ticket sales are being selling good, and we expect a packed stadium. So it's a real big buzz around the CARIFTA, because one of the things that's happening this year is the 50th year of the CARIFTA, but also it's the 50th year of the Bahamas and our independence. So we have a program called the Road to 50, and along the Road to 50, the CARIFTA is one of the stops. So it's monumental to have CARIFTA 50, Bahamas 50, all in the same year. So we expect to have a great opening ceremony. We expect to have a large contingent of Bahamians in the crowd. And also we know Jamaica always shows us strong at the CARIFTA also. So we look forward to see a large contingent of Jamaicans also.
Let me ask you, you have a lot of mentors in the Bahamas. You have Pauline Davis and a whole raft of world-class Olympic world champions there at your disposal. Have any of them had a sit down with the members of the team to kind of give them that extra boost going into the CARIFTA Games this weekend?
It's funny you said it. We just had a meeting with the team yesterday, and that was one of the things that happened. Pauline Davis and one of the senior members of our track and field community, we call her Granny Whitfield. Both of them spoke to our team yesterday. Pauline told a story about how in 1984, just how we brought into the show, that's the last time the Bahamians won and dethroned Jamaica, and she was a member of that team. Mm-hmm. She spoke about that 4x4 medal that made the difference to take us over the top, and how to never give up no matter what position you're in. She gave an inspiring a speech to the Team Bahamas, and everybody got fired up after that. So it was very monumental for us, and it's great to see her giving back to the new Team Bahamas.
Mm-hmm. My last question has to do with the facility itself. We hear that some upgrades have been done to the stadium in preparation for the games. Maybe it's not your area of expertise, but I'm asking you nonetheless, can you shed some light as to maybe some of those improvements to the stadium facility?
Okay, so right now as we speak, I left the stadium to come here to do the interview, and they're still doing some of the pageantry. They did some beautification to it. I think when you come into the stadium, you'll get to see the beauty of the stadium. It's not without imperfections, but the beauty of the stadium to showcase our talent and allow everyone else to perform on a world-class stadium.
Yeah, you talk about the fans and the combination of 50th anniversary independence celebrations for Bahamas and the 50th staging of the CARIFTA Games as well, Fares. I'm getting the feeling that if crowd support and noise and effervescence from the local contingent decides the CARIFTA Games here, then the Jamaicans will be toppled.
That is the plan. I wouldn't make such bold statements on international TV, but the goal is to get the best motorcycle that we have had in a very long time. And if along the way that happens, it'll be a good day in the Bahamas. But really, we're just striving to get all the kids to bring out the best in them and make them get the best performance and compete in the spirit of good sportsmanship, and we want to get those life lessons that sport gives to you. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, even when you give your best effort, but we want to go out there and be the best that we can be in front of the behaving crowd.
In reality, though, how real is the prospect of the Bahamas toppling Jamaica? I mean, look, I am a Jamaican, and the reality is that sometimes it's good to shake up the apple cart just a little bit. Is the Bahamas in position to be able to do that this year?
To be realistic, I think we're in a position to bring the best medal tally we've been in a long time. I wouldn't say we're in a position to beat Jamaica, but I think we're bringing the best medal tally that we've been in a long time. Like you said, we still have a lot of younger kids, but that's why we're bringing in some of our collegiates to help us. And we're revamping our team to have a balance from throws to distance to jumps. Our distance program is probably the one that's a little bit further behind in the back, but we're working on having a complete track and field team to bring to the table.
Yeah. Well, Fares, we are all getting excited here because, of course, SportsMax will have live coverage of all 4 days, including Friday's opening ceremony. And we know that the track and field public in the Bahamas will bring their A game. And we are expecting a fabulous, fabulous weekend of track and field because we know how talented Caribbean athletes are in the sport. And we're expecting another advert of that this weekend. Fares, thanks for talking to us and all the best for your Bahamas team at the CARIFTA Games.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, and of course, Leighton, our coverage will start from the opening ceremony. Our world-class commentator, Ricardo Chambers, will be on the panel doing commentary. And our coverage was really well received last year when it was in Kingston. And we know that the CARIFTA Games will be big again this year. Looking
forward to it. I can't wait, actually, because there are a lot of matchups that I'd love to see. There's a possibility, I'm not quite sure if they will meet, but, young Adesha Hodge up against Alana Reid, possibly, in the under-20 category. Yeah. That is giving me goosebumps just thinking about it.
Yeah, well, Hodge was absolutely phenomenal in the under-17 sprints last year. And let's see what she has to offer first time up among the under-20s. We go to break. Still a lot more to come on the SportsMax Zone.
Want more content? Follow us on YouTube, subscribe to SportsMax on cable, and download the SportsMax app today.